I'm Kimberly, a self-taught baker. Each week, I pull a number from a jar and bake the recipe waiting on that page. No planning, no previews, just trust. The recipe I pulled today is Chipotle Cornbread. Oh no. I need Chipotle chili and adobo sauce. That's not something I usually keep on hand, so that means I will have to go grocery shopping. It also calls for medium grind cornmeal. I'm just gonna use what I have. The cornmeal I have is kind of on the coarse side. It's not fine ground, so I think it will work out fine. Nor do I have fresh marjoram or oregano. I do have both in dried form from Celofina, so I will probably use one or the other. No time to waste. I'm going to run to the grocery store, get what I need, and then come back and start on this recipe. I'm back from my grocery shopping trip. Was able to find Chipotle chilies and adobo sauce. I probably should have done this before I left the house, but I'm going to look more thoroughly at the ingredients list. Cornmeal, buttermilk, butter, the Chipotle chili and adobo sauce, fresh corn kernels. Okay. I have frozen scallions, kosher salt, ground black pepper, a marjoram, eggs, queso fresco or mild cheddar cheese. I already have mild cheddar, so that's what I'm going to use. All-purpose flour, sugar, baking powder, and baking soda. I've already covered the instructions, so now all I have to do is prep all the ingredients. This recipe calls for 3/4 of a cup of sliced scallions, white parts only. And this is the only scallion I have in my fridge. I really should have thoroughly looked at the ingredients list before I went grocery shopping, so we're gonna have to make this work. I will probably use most of the greens, but this is all that will be going in. I don't have 3/4 of a cup's worth of green onion. All of the ingredients are prepped and ready to go. There are a total of 15 ingredients. I'm really curious to see what we're going to do with all of it. From what I've learned about this author, I have a feeling it's not going to be just throw everything together and mix it up and put it in the oven. It's probably going to be a lot. Let's not waste any time. I'm going to uncover the instructions so I can get started on making this recipe. So we're soaking the cornmeal in the buttermilk for a few minutes. Oh, and we're using a skillet. What size skillet? And a small skillet over medium-low heat. I could probably do that part in the microwave. The author is having me melt the butter. What? Oh, okay. Oh, so it's 166 grams of butter divided. We're not melting all of the butter immediately. So we're melting some of the butter and mixing in the chopped chipotle and the sauce into the butter. Melt half of the remaining butter in a 10-inch skillet, and we're cooking the corn and the scallions together. We're seasoning it with some of the salt and the black pepper. So the butter will sizzle and to continue to cook, stirring frequently until the corn begins to color, about 5 minutes. So are we browning the butter too? Oh man, hot butter and frozen corn. Then stir in the marjoram. Then we're combining the flour, the remaining salt, which is 1 teaspoon, the sugar, baking powder, and baking soda. Then adding the eggs, cooled corn mixture. Add the eggs and the cooled corn mixture to the buttermilk soaked cornmeal. Then we stir in the chipotle butter and then the cheese. And then we clean the pan, the 10-inch pan out, not the little one. We're preheating the pan for 10 minutes. And then we add the remaining butter. And then while that's oh my gosh, this is so tedious. While the butter's melting in the pan, we stir in the wet ingredients into the flour mixture using a wooden spoon. And then we spoon the batter into the pan. And bake for 15 minutes, rotate the pan, and then bake for another 10 minutes. Then it cools in the pan. That's a lot of cooking. It smells like it would be worth it. This smells really good. I think this will be worth the effort. I'm gonna get started. The Chipotle cornbread is out of the oven, it's cooled, and I've already sliced into it. This recipe had a lot of steps. I made a few shortcuts wherever I could. I'm interested to see how this will taste since I didn't have enough green onions. I'm wondering if it will taste a little bland. I thought about putting onion powder into the batter, but I decided not to. I wanted to see if not having green onion would really impact the flavor. When I sliced into it, it looked kind of crumbly, similar to any other cornbread recipe. I can see little bits of the green onion that I put in there, so it kind of adds a really pretty color. The cook time seems to be on point. The recipe calls for about 25 minutes in the oven, and that's exactly how much time I had it in the oven. The edges have a nice golden crust to it. The bottom didn't burn or anything. So far, it's a very solid recipe. Now I'm going to give it a try and see how it tastes. This tastes pretty good. It tastes like cornbread. The corn isn't strange in here, having whole kernels of corn. It doesn't feel odd. Even though the cornmeal soaked in the buttermilk for a little while, it still has that grainy texture that cornmeal typically has, but it's not crunchy at all, even on the crust. I didn't try the crust, but on the bottom. I think softening the cornmeal in the buttermilk is actually a really good idea. I don't taste much of the chipotle. I probably would have put the entire chipotle pepper, maybe even 2. It's not screaming chipotle. If I were to make this again, I would use a whole chipotle pepper plus an additional 1. The green onion I didn't taste also, which makes sense because the recipe called for 3/4 cup of green onion and I probably had maybe 2 tablespoons. So that was an error on my part. I think it would have definitely added to the cornbread. I'm going to try the edge of the cornbread slice. I want to see what the texture is like. It's definitely crunchy and it's a bit more buttery. That is a pleasant surprise. It does have a very rich, buttery taste to it. After eating the second bite, I did taste a little bit more of the green onion. I don't know if I like it though. If I were to eat a Chipotle cornbread, I would want to taste more Chipotle and less green onion. Going forward, if I were to make this again, I would probably omit the green onion and increase the amount of Chipotle pepper. Overall, I'm pretty happy with this recipe. It does take a lot of time to make, but I think it's worth it, especially for such a large pan of cornbread. This is a good barbecue side to bring, especially now that barbecue season is almost here. I did also want to add too, it's not a very sweet cornbread. I know there's debate on whether cornbread should be more savory versus a little bit more sweet. The sugar kind of helps to bring out that corn flavor, but it's not a sweet dessert-like cornbread. Thank you for trusting the process with me. If you'd like to bake along, you can find the cookbook in the caption below. Don't forget to hit subscribe so that you don't miss the next episode. Take care.